So you want to learn how to make your own prom flowers. Flower bouquets for prom can cost anywhere from $50 to $75, which can sometimes be more expensive than the prom ticket itself. So if you want to learn how to make your own prom bouquet and save some money, you've come to the right place. Now, you're going to need some tools and materials to get started. You're going to need a pair of clippers, some thick stem wrap tape, some pins to hold and wrap the bouquet with, and then you're also going to need some actual ribbon to wrap the bouquet stems with, so that way it'll hide the tape. Now, the flower choice is up to you. I usually like to match my flowers with the dress that I'm choosing, or you could go all out and just do like a really nice wildflower theme. So today we're going to be doing two different styles. I'm going to be doing one softer muted tone flowers. We're going to be doing whites and pinks. And then the other bouquet, we're going to be doing a like wildflower look, so you can see what those bouquets look like, and then you can make them at home for yourself. What you're going to do first is you're going to take your hydrangea. And I really like using hydrangea because it's like a really big flower and it allows you to actually stick other flowers inside of it. And you can use this flower as like your base flower. So what I'm going to be doing first is I'm going to be taking the prettiest rose and I'm going to stick that in the center. So I'm going to determine my prettiest rose by which rose is more open, full, and lush. So to me, this is probably the prettiest rose. It's nice and bold and bright. So what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to take my rose and I'm going to stick him straight through my hydrangea, straight through the center. All right. Now, if you're looking for a more simple, traditional style arrangement, you can do a pave styled arrangement. So that is when all of the flowers are on the same height and level. That's called pave. So if you want all your flowers to be on the same height and level, you're just going to push your rose deeper into the hydrangea. If you want a more garden style look, you would just push the rose up and out and place things on different heights and levels to give yourself some more depth and dimension. But today we're going to be doing a simple pave style bouquet first, then I'll show you how to make a more fun and loose bouquet. So first you have this, then you're just going to want to rotate your bouquet about 45 degrees, so that way you're working on all sides of your arrangement. We're going to take another rose, and you're just going to place this rose next to and in between the hydrangea, right on the outskirts. You're going to pull off any guard petals, any ugly, gross petals that you don't want to see in your bouquet. You're just going to pull them off. Perfect, so this is what you have so far. And you're just going to, again, rotate another like 45 degrees. And really anywhere where I see holes in between my hydrangea, that's where I'm adding roses. So I'm going to take another rose. I see another empty space here, so I'm just going to put that rose right there. I'm going to rotate my bouquet a little bit. I've got two more empty spaces and I actually have two more roses, so that's great. So again, just placing all the roses on the same height and level. Also, as I'm placing my flowers, I also like to make sure my bouquet is even all the way around. All right, so right now we have this as our bouquet. And sometimes when you're working, the stems can be kind of annoying because they keep bumping you in the belly here. So you're just gonna take your clippers and you're just going to cut your bouquet down about, I would say, you would want at least, you want there to be at least like 8 to 10 inches. So I'm just going to kind of cut everything on the same length. And this is just going to make it a little bit easier to work with so that you're not working with this big bulky bouquet. Now, if you guys notice, right on the back of my bouquet, this hydrangea is really floppy. So to fix that, you're going to take some greenery and you're just going to place the greenery right up against the hydrangea, and that's going to keep everything from bouncing around there. Now we do still have a filler flower as well, so I really just like to focus the ruscus on the outer perimeter of the bouquet first, and then I like to fill in my empty spots with my baby's breath. Okay, I'm going to rotate the bouquet because again, I really want to be working on all sides of the arrangement here. Now I'm just adjusting anything that might have gotten lost or pushed down in the bouquet while I was adjusting and adding those greenery pieces in. So this is what we have so far, guys. So we do want to just take it a step further and add some of our baby's breath today. And this is just going to help fill in any gaps that we may see in our bouquet. So usually I kind of like to pre-cut this and all do that, but I didn't do that today. So now I'm going to look like a crazy person. But you just want to cut off some stems. And I like to work with it like one stem at a time. And you really just want to be using like the tops of the flower here. So now wherever I see like an empty space, I'm going to just be adding in some of that baby's breath. Pretty. Yeah, and this is just going to give it a little bit pizzazz and a little bit of razzle dazzle. Let's see. Just want to rotate it, make sure I'm missing anything. I'm probably going to add another piece like right here. Now when I'm placing things, I like to group things in odd numbers, so like 3s, 5s. Find that that looks the best. All right, guys, so this is what we have so far. And I would say that this bouquet is just about done. So with prom bouquets, you really don't need to make them huge. I would say just about like 6 to 8 inches is pretty much the max. Like these are just bouquets that you're literally just going to use and hold for pictures. So it doesn't really have to be huge and big like it would a bridal bouquet. Bridal bouquets are like 10 to 12 inches, so it doesn't need to be massive, just something to hold for pictures. So this is what you have when you are done, and I'm going to show you how to tie and finish this off. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your green stem wrap tape and you're going to wrap the tape around the bouquet. Now, sometimes this tape can be a little bit tricky for beginners because it's kind of weird. Like it works kind of like an ace bandage wrap. So as you pull on it, the stickiness activates. You're going to start from the top and work your way down. So I'm going to take the tape with one hand and I'm going to place it around the neck of the arrangement here. And I'm just going to be pulling the tape and wrapping the tape tightly around the stems as I go. So you're going to be kind of like a pulling and tugging motion with your hands all the way around. Ooh. And yes, that happens a lot, guys. If you pull too tight, your tape can actually snap and break. So don't be discouraged if that happens. As you can see, it just happened to me, and I am a florist. So I usually like to make the tape as long as a hand width. So you really don't need a ton of tape, just enough to hold the bouquet together. Now to really finish this bouquet off, what you're going to need is you're going to need some satin ribbon to hide this tape. You don't want to see the ugly mechanics. So I got this satin ribbon from my floral wholesaler, but you can definitely find this at Michael's, Amazon. I'll link some links below. So what you're going to do first is you're going to wrap this bouquet from the bottom up. You're going to tightly wrap the ribbon around the bouquet and you're just going to pull and work your way up. So pull and wrap until you go all the way up the stem here. Okay. Just take it slow, guys, you know. It's your first time doing it. Now once your ribbon is really tight around the stems here, I then just like to determine what is my front of my bouquet. So I think I like this as the front of my bouquet the most. So I'm then just going to make it so that way the ribbon comes to, so that way this like frayed edge of the ribbon comes to the back of the bouquet. And take my scissors and I'm just going to snip off the ribbon. Then I'm going to fold in the ugly frayed side. Just like that. So we're just folding it in there and we're just going to lay that right up against the stems here. Now I've got these little pins that I like to use. These little pins right here, these are just going to be put into the bouquet upward, and these are going to hold the ribbon together and keep everything from falling out of place. So this bouquet is almost done. The last thing I like to do is just cut it to size because right now these stems are really freaking long. So I like to make sure there's just like at least like 2 to 3 inches of stem at the bottom, just so that way my bouquet can get some water and hydrate. So I'm gonna cut about that much off. Perfect. And then this is how you make a really simple prom bouquet. So now we are going to make a more like loose garden style bouquet. This is going to be a bouquet that it looks like you just like went into someone's garden and picked out a bed of flowers and tied it off, and now you have a bouquet. So this is going to be a little bit more wild and loose, fun. So stick around. Hope you like it. So what I'm going to start with is I just got this like $6 bouquet from Whole Foods. And what you're going to do is you're just going to remove all of the rubber bands and the plastic that it comes in. Cool. The first thing to making any like gardeny style bouquet, what you're gonna do first is you're just gonna start with your structure flowers. So I'm gonna just start with my daisies here, and I'm just gonna pull off any of the petals and leaves that are gross, any of the blooms that may have been smushed or crushed. All right. So I'm going to just start by crisscrossing these two stems here, and these are going to just be kind of like the base that I use to put all my other flowers in. I'm going to rotate it, so now I'm working on these sides of the bouquet. So these two empty sides, I'm going to just place some of this greenery right in the center in between these two flowers. Just put a little bit of greenery there, and I'll add another piece of greenery on the other side. Perfect. Now I do have some of this really cool like spray carnation, and I'm just going to place him just a little bit higher up, and this is going to just start giving our bouquet some dimension. For a garden style bouquet, you don't want all the flowers to be on the same height. You want things to be on different height and levels, and that's really going to give you that like cool modern style look that you see on like Pinterest and Instagram. Now sometimes it can be a bit hard to work with these long stems, so I just kind of like to cut them as I go to just make it a little bit easier to maneuver. So again, guys, you just want to make sure you continue to rotate your bouquet, make sure you're working on all sides of the arrangement here. So I'm going to start taking some of this status here, and I've got purple on one side of my arrangement, so I'm going to just start bringing that purple color over to the other side of my bouquet. Perfect. I've got more, so I think I'm just going to accentuate the purple more and just add a little bit more purple. Now I've got more greenery that I want to add here, and I'm just going to start placing this around the bouquet to just kind of hide some of those stems. I don't really like to see bare stems. I always kind of like to hide it with a little bit of greenery. Not to mention the leaves just kind of make everything look a little bit more like loose and garden style-y. So, and if anything gets smushed and pushed down in the bouquet, you can simply just bring it up, pull it up like this. Alright, now I've got this big beautiful sunflower, and I'm just going to be looking to see where I can add it. So right now I've got an empty space here and over here, but I think I want to put my sunflower right there. Pretty. Just going to rotate your bouquet. And with these two empty spaces, I'm going to just fill it in with some of these carnations. So put more carnation there. You always want to be spreading out and placing your flowers evenly and spacing them throughout the bouquet. And then I still have some of this like really nice lavender that I want to use. Now I always like to place my like wispy accent flowers in last because they're usually delicate and you don't want them to get ruined. So I always like to just place them and add them in last. So I'm going to just bring in some of that purple over here. It's not really a ton of purple. And I usually like to put the lavender a little bit taller and higher just so that way it can be seen. And I also like to cluster multiple pieces together so it'll really stand out in the bouquet and it won't get lost in it. So really just take like 2 to 3 pieces at a time and just place them in the bouquet. Again, to finish this off, we're going to take our tape, we're going to work from the top and work our way down. Now remember guys, you want to use this tape, you want to pull and you want to tug and you want to wrap it around, and really just make sure you're wrapping this tightly and make sure you're working all the way down your stem here. Now once you've got about a hand's worth of tape, of stem wrap tape, you're then going to take your ribbon again. And again, you want your ribbon, you want to work this from the bottom up. So I know we do our tape from the bottom down, but you want to do the ribbon from the bottom up. So you're going to start from the bottom and you're going to tightly wrap the ribbon around your bouquet stem. You're just going to move up the stems here. Now I think I want my sunflower to be the front of the bouquet, so I'm going to end the stem wrap to be right about here. Perfect. Now again guys, you just want to fold in those ugly frayed edges. You don't really want to see that in your bouquet, so you're going to fold those in. And then taking the pins again, you're going to take 2 pins. I'm going to place 1 pin at the top of the bouquet, and you're going to place the pins going straight up. If you place the pins going down, you have the potential to actually puncture it through the other side of the bouquet and stabbing your hand every time you pick up the bouquet. So make sure you're pushing those pins up the stem here. So you're going to push the pins right through the fabric, right through the stems, and that's just going to hold your fabric in place from unraveling throughout the night. So the final step is just to cut this bouquet to size. Alright guys, so this is the completed prom looks. So we've got bouquet number 1 here. This is a more like pave traditional style bouquet. And then we've got a garden style bouquet. This is a bouquet that you would just simply go into a garden and just pick up the flowers. This is more of that look that you're going for. So I hope you guys found this video helpful. If you like floral design tutorials like this, I recommend checking out this video right here. I go through step-by-step floral design for beginners, tutorial arrangements. So if you want more tutorials geared towards beginner florists, definitely recommend to check out that video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel here and follow me on Instagram at flowersbyalexis. Again, I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye!